Introduction and conclusion, keys to your writing. So first, let's talk about the analogy of a road trip. When you go on a road trip, you want to have a map so you know what direction you are headed, where you're headed, your final destination. This is what you're explaining in your intro. Tell the reader where you will take them. So let's identify 3 simple rules to writing an introductory paragraph. Number 1, state in a clear sentence your response to the writing prompt. Okay? Number 2, provide non-specific reasons for your statement. Do not give specific dates, statistics, or facts that are not generally known by people. So that's important. So, for example, if you were to say the 1900s rather than 1995, you can see the specific year is 95. That's too specific for your introduction. Okay? Rule number 3, state your thesis statement. Tell the reader what you are going to prove. You need to be clear. Don't leave your reader wondering about your purpose. All right. So, here's an example of an introduction. The sentences in red follows rule number 1. William Shakespeare does not deserve the credit for writing the famous 37 plays. Okay? The sentences in green follow rule 2. Many believe that his name was used as a cover-up for the true writer. The 3 candidates that are most frequently considered as a candidate to be Shakespeare based on their education, death date, and travel experience were Sir Francis Bacon, Christopher Marlowe, and Edward de Vere, the Earl of Oxford. So this provides non-specific information that is generally known. Okay, rule number 3, creating a thesis is demonstrated in the last sentence. Okay, this one in black. The only true option for the writer of the pieces credited to Shakespeare is Edward de Vere. Great. So that's your intro. All right, part 2, writing a conclusion. First sentence of your conclusion should be a restatement of your answer to the prompt from your introduction. Just all you're doing is changing some language around, but you are saying, you're re-emphasizing your point. Rule number 2, you want to give the best, most specific facts that support your answer to this prompt. This is your chance to hit your audience with the best information as you end your argument. Okay. Rule 3, briefly, about a sentence or so, state what is wrong with the other side's argument. Make your argument stronger by showing the weaknesses in their counterclaim. So let's look at a model. The sentence in red is the restatement of the answer to the prompt. People question who should really be credited with writing the 37 plays that Shakespeare has been given credit. Okay? The sentences in green reflect Rule 2, identify the best evidence for your argument. The most likely writer is Edward de Vere, the Earl of Oxford. The similarities that de Vere and Shakespeare have would have made it easy for Shakespeare to just be a cover-up. De Vere attended Oxford, knew court life, and traveled frequently. The sentences in black show the effort to prove the weaknesses in the counterclaim. It's hard to imagine that Shakespeare could compose this amount of writing in the time he was alive and with his lack of education. There is no evidence Shakespeare attended any university, and his 6 signatures historians have uncovered are so different it indicates he was an illiterate. Finally, his will left no mention of his works or even books. So, the next part are just some reminders. As we wrap this up, remember that the introduction and your conclusion paragraphs are the most difficult to write for students. So don't get frustrated. They're drafts, and we will be able to edit them later. We just need to get our thoughts down on paper now. Okay, so having looked over this instructional, there's a formative assessment for you. In your notebook, add a page and title it Intro and Conclusion Formative. Make sure you add it to your table of contents. And then answer these 3 questions. Number 1, what should be the topic of your first sentence of your introduction? Number 2, what is general information? Give an example. And 3, what is the difference between your introduction and your conclusion paragraphs? Feel free to rewatch these videos now that you know what you're supposed to be looking for.